Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the It's in Queens podcast covering events in the borough from April 26th to May 2nd in 2018. Now, there's a little bit of mystery in this podcast, so I'm not going to identify myself, nor am I going to identify the guy on the far left. However, I will say that I work for the Queens Tourism Council, and he works for the Daily News.
Wait,
which
let's say
is,
it like this. Let's say it's a newspaper that comes out daily.
Okay.
We won't say which one it is.
Okay, a newspaper that comes out daily and covers New York,
Sure.
and is shrouded in mystery and wrapped
think we've said
in
enough.
an enigma and served on an endive.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're also broadcasting live from our hidden bunker in the nondescript row house in the unanimous neighborhood in Queens for safety reasons.
That's right.
The person to my left,
My right.
is maybe his face might not be well known, but his photographs are everywhere. He runs the Instagram account Queenscapes.
Correct.
That's Queens Capes with one S or
One S.
Queen. Okay.
One S.
So it's either Queens Capes or Queens Capes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dot NYC. Mystery Man number 3. How are you?
I'm good. I'm
good.
I'm doing very good.
Thanks for being
Tell
here.
us. So it is. So they're actually the Queens Eats is probably the Instagram account that has the most followers in our borough. The number 2 is Mystery Man number 3. Tell us a little bit about your Instagram account and what you do and why you do it and why you love Queens.
So my Instagram account, it's a great question, kind of a loaded question, because I kind of try to be everywhere and not just cover locations in Queens, but I really try to focus on the people. That's been something that I've been kind of doing as of late. But the idea of Queens is a big city, but in comparison to New York and Brooklyn, we kind of get lost and we get that small town feel.
Of course.
But the idea that there's so many stories and there's so many angles to stories here, so it's not just a neighborhood in St. Albans. It's the people that run St. Albans.
So
the
how
people
often
that
do you?
operate.
So how often do you post a photo?
I try to do it daily. I try
Really?
to do it daily. I'm in Queens every day. You know, I live in Queens, so I'm taking
Oh,
photos.
he said a lot.
Yeah.
Said too much.
Oh, well, he actually,
taking photos.
we're not going to say where he lives now, but he's about to move to Electchester, which
Right.
is
Correct.
little
I'm in
known,
Chester.
which is an absolutely fantastic place. It's run by the local 3 of the International
IBEW.
IBEW, the International Brotherhood of Electric Workers, also
right.
known as I Barely Ever Work.
Yeah, I've heard that
It's
one.
just outside Queens College in Flushing.
Exactly.
It's really hard to get into because it has big cavernous apartment buildings, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
How did you get in there?
My wife was on the waiting list for like 15 years.
Ah.
And I think you mentioned a story where you get close. We were close like maybe 8 years ago. We were, I think, single digits. And then something happened where we just got stalled. I think we were like 8.
Yeah,
And we
the
had
city had to
interview
jump
and-
in and take it over. And then
Oh, they had a
the-
little corruption
Yeah,
problem, but
that
that's in the past. That's old Queens, new Queens.
So yeah,
everything
we're
is
there now, which
That's
is
great. That's
Yeah,
great.
Do you remember that congressman with the bow tie, Gary Ackerman,
Of course, sure.
who represented Queens for 40 years?
Yeah.
He grew up in Elecchester.
Wow,
Yeah.
awesome.
There you go.
He used to
awesome.
write us little letters for when we were in Little League. Gary Ackerman proudly supports Elm Jack Little League.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And didn't he also wear he always had a dandelion or some kind of a flower in his carnation? He always had some kind. Anyway, Elecchester. So welcome. Now we're going to look at
Thank
some of your photos just quickly. The first photo, our anonymous production guy is going to put up on the screen right now. Tell us about that photo. Where'd you take it and when was
So
it?
the first photo I took, as well as running Queenscapes, I do a bunch of freelance work for the Times Ledger. Someone introduced me to Mike Shane, who's the photo editor there, and it helps me kind of keep abreast of what's going on top of always looking at
Les used to be in
different
charge of the
sources.
Daily News. Les Goodstein, who runs the Times Ledger.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he's
Yeah, we love. There's a guy named Bill Parry who writes there. We love him.
Yeah,
Jaunting Bill.
correct, definitely.
So tell me about where did you take it?
So I took the photo at the Jamaica High School track.
Oh, okay.
The Jamaica High School track every year holds the Eid celebration at the end of Ramadan.
Okay. That's
and
EID.
EID,
The end
correct.
of the Muslim holy month.
Correct. And overwhelming crowd. overwhelming crowd.
I bet.
Don't know what the exact numbers are, but every inch of that track is packed. So we kind of came in. It's something I brought my kids to, which
Nice.
is again how Queenscapes originated. Me taking my kids out to a bunch of the places that I'm exploring. So we went out to that when they were much young, which is 2 years ago. I say much younger because they
grow so fast.
They grow so fast, and
How old are
they're now going to be 12 and 13
There you
in
go.
June and July.
Oh, nice.
So they were a lot younger and a lot smaller, and it was a very, very overwhelming experience because we kind of got at the tail end of it,
Sure.
and we were there right when everyone was coming out.
Okay.
It's funny
So,
because the photo, it definitely looks like there's sort of a religious or at least a solemn bent to what they're
Correct,
feeling. That
correct.
people are feeling in the spirit.
Well,
right there.
it's ironic that you say solemn because the
Respectful, whatever.
correct,
Yeah.
correct, but it almost comes off. Looking at the picture, it looks like you're capturing a solemn crowd, but it was very, very peaceful, extremely peaceful, extremely welcoming, which is something you kind of not knowing what to expect because not being from that culture, it's something that's kind of brand new. But I was pleasantly surprised that we felt really, really at home there.
That's great.
And again, this is at the tail end of it. So the picture is of a little boy that's looking back, and he's in the traditional garb, again, celebrating Ramadan, and of course, getting the permission from his father. But again, it was such a united, really peaceful gathering, which is really cool. to
I'll remind you
experience.
that all of his photos. How many photos do you have up?
Wow. Over 18,000.
Over
almost
18,000 photos of Queens, and
correct.
it's on
Wow.
queenscapes.nyc, correct?
Well,
or the Instagram is
on the
Queenscapes.
correct. On the Instagram page, I have almost 19,000. On the website, I have a bunch up, just not as much. So
Okay.
it's a lot less.
Let's do one more photo. Can we do one more photo?
Sure.
All right. Which photo do you want to do of the other two?
I want to do, I guess we can do the photo of Lalo, which is the older
Okay.
gentleman.
Lalo, yeah, okay. Tell us about that. That's probably short for Eulalio,
I'm not
I would
sure.
imagine.
Possibly.
If he's Spanish speaking.
Yeah.
Okay.
So this picture is extremely special to me because Lalo was a man that I met at a talk at Queens Historical Society.
In Flushing, Queens?
Correct.
Yeah.
I
Our
use
buddy Richard, right?
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, Richard Hanrahan?
Yeah.
Horahan.
Horahan.
Yeah.
Horahan. So Branka was the one that invited me
Branka
to speak.
Duchnik is the executive director, born in
Correct.
Serbia,
Exactly. A really nice
another
person.
immigrant to Queens.
Correct. And she invited me to speak on my Queens Village community project, which is I received the grant for the Citizens Committee of New York City. And the idea of the project was kind of speaking on cultural intolerance and how all these cultures in Queens are together but just kind of don't mix. And in Queens Village, one of the most diverse neighborhoods in Queens, it's really very prevalent. The hard thing about that was because this exists, that people didn't let me in their house.
Oh,
you
wow.
know?
Really?
It didn't happen. So anyway,
So
moving
Lalo
forward,
did. Lalo opened the door.
moving forward, I had this talk speaking about the project, and in come in 3 generations of people from Queens Village, which was a
Oh.
Hernandez family.
Oh, okay.
And Lalo was the grandfather.
Where was he from, do you know?
He's from Ecuador.
Ah,
So the
okay.
family was Ecuadorian and Argentinian, I want to say, but they were multi-ethnicities.
Mm-hmm.
And the great thing about them was I had someone that came here to hear me speak about a project that I'm having struggles with. And the first question I asked, can I come to your house? And they granted me that privilege of coming to the house. So the picture is Lalo over the dining room table, over a flower piece there. So
Okay.
they were really accommodating and welcoming, which was really cool.
Fantastic. So we will remind you all it's about Queenscapes. When you're not on it'sinqueens.com
That's
or
right.
the It's in Queens Instagram account, spend some time, show some love to Queenscapes.
Give him a like. Give him a
can,
follow.
Thank you.
Can we keep you around while we go through
Of
our
course,
weekly tour? We
definitely.
want to
No
find out
problem
what
at all.
you like, since you
Definitely.
who has taken photographs all around the borough.
Now, real quick,
we
I
want you
just
to
wanted
find out.
to ask you. I remember I was reading about something. You started this project because your dad used to take you all around. And
Yeah.
that was sort of like the genesis. of it?
Earliest inspiration of it was the idea of my father just exploring New York City, and the idea where we kind of didn't leave any stone uncovered. He felt super entitled. This was his city, and we just went everywhere from everywhere pretty much. So it
And
kind
after
of
seeing the whole city, he stayed in Queens. I mean,
That's right.
sorry, I hate to constantly play the heavy.
Hey.
I actually want to tell you about. So this is related to you,
correct. Okay.
and what you do, and it's something that's coming up that gets our competitive juices flowing. And that is from April 27th to April 30th. There's a United States-wide contest called the City Nature Challenge. Okay. Now, and Flushing Meadow Corona Park is part of this challenge. Basically, you download the iNaturalist app, and that makes you a citizen journalist, photojournalist. Then you take photos of wildlife in Flushing Meadow Corona Park.
Only
and
that
because
park.
of the application, because of the application, it will go to their headquarters, their cyber headquarters. It'll get posted on their website, and the city with the most photographs wins. So we
Wow.
can go in.
That's an
You can go
amazing-
into Flushing from April 27th to see my computer isn't going
30th.
out. Thank you.
April 27th to April 30th.
We
Okay, great.
Queens people can download the app and take pictures of nature in Flushing Meadow, Corona's
This
Park.
is a
and you
rally
can
cry.
Win the chance.
That's
Yes.
right. This is a rally cry.
Please
amazing
understand that no
initiative. That's
pets.
pretty cool.
Okay, no
Right.
pets. All right.
No pets, no house
plants.
plants, no zoo animals.
No Zoom.
And
Can't
of
go to the
course,
Queen Zoo, even though it is a wonderful
Flushing
place.
Meadow is
and it has
home
the
of the
Indian
Queen
Bear
Zoo.
Cub. Yeah.
And the petting zoo as well.
So hopefully, maybe you can do that over the next 4 days from
definitely,
27th.
yeah.
Get stuff involved. Everyone else will try. I'm going to definitely try and do it myself. And Chris, of course, is
I
going to.
live right there,
You
so-
have your sleeping bag, and you plan, and your box of marshmallows, and you plan to camp out for
make
3
it
nights.
work.
Okay.
Oh, wait.
Very good. Very good.
Rob.
Excuse me,
Rob.
Is this the It's in Queens podcast?
Uh-oh.
Oh,
'Cause
boy.
I have no idea where I am right now.
The mystery grows.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
Oh,
it is.
awesome.
Who
Yeah.
are you,
How
mystery
did
woman?
you find
hi,
us?
How did-
Jen.
How did you make it into the hidden bunker? In
I have
the,
no idea. There was a
nondescript
dog
row
and a cat
house?
and a shovel, and I had to go around.
Oh, okay. Well, keeping up with the theme,
So glad I made it.
why don't you tell us where you work?
Hi. So I'm Jen. I work with the Queens.
Alias Jen.
I'm
She's Mystery Woman J.
Jay. I work for the Queens Community House, which
Okay.
is a nonprofit here in Queens.
We-
It serves 20,000 residents every year.
Very nice.
45 programs at 29 sites and 14 neighborhoods in Queens.
Oh, wow. What a
Just throwing
surprise.
numbers
And
at
just
us
happened to
left
be
and right.
walking through the anonymous neighborhood.
Yeah, no,
Do you love
sensed
Queenscapes?
it. I love Queenscapes.
Do you love It's in Queens?
Absolutely.
Do you have your own Instagram account?
I do.
What is it?
It's a story about.
Oh, a story about.
Yeah, it's a smiley face.
Oh,
That's it.
You
Remember
live
the
in
smiley
Astoria,
face?
I
maybe?
live in Astoria.
Okay.
I love the neighborhood.
Well,
So wait, is it Astoria about?
I'm so glad you asked because I don't think I've ever been able to clear up this issue. The idea 10 years ago, I only started the account 2 years ago, is a story about. So a story about Steve. Or a story
photo
about
story.
my latte today.
Okay.
Similar to Queen's
I'm so glad to clear this up.
So it's sort of like
There was a lot of
okay, so
confusion
it's
in the-
Astoria
out there.
about.
Some people say about Astoria. It's
Okay.
a story about.
Wow,
Story
okay.
Spelled
about.
Astoria.
So we can
So-
learn more about specifically Astoria through our mystery woman. It's kind of interesting. So let's. Would you like to go through the rundown with us of what's going on in the borough?
Absolutely.
What a surprise! What a
Look at that.
coincidence!
Gamer.
All right. Yeah. Do you know that we have a lot of classical music this weekend?
We seem to have classical music quite often.
Yeah.
We're a very cultured borough.
Do you know that one is the opera
lowest number?
Figaro, the Marriage of Figaro?
Oh, no, I didn't know that.
Did I say Figaro?
Yeah, you
Figaro,
did.
Figaro.
Figaro, the marriage of Figaro.
Yep, at Queens College, Goldstein Theater.
Nice.
Mozart opera.
And this is from the Aaron Copland School of Music.
It's from the
Nice.
Aaron Copland School of Music, probably the best music school, graduate school in the nation.
That's right.
Yep. The other thing we have is, ready for this? Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
The Astoria Symphony Orchestra.
Oh my
Hey, now.
gosh.
Did you know that Astoria has a
No.
symphony
A
orchestra?
story about that. How
I
about?
had no idea.
Well, I think we
That's
have
a
some
date night.
material.
Yeah.
Did you hear that, Ben? That's a date night.
Oh, all right. Wow.
Her
the
mystery husband.
The mystery
I
husband.
mean, B.
So they will be playing Mozart Haydn in the world premiere of an American composer named J. Scott McKenzie at Trinity Lutheran Church in Astoria.
37th
Lovely.
Street. Yeah.
Yep. Is anyone familiar with the Quintet of the Americas, the woodwind instrument? They were formed in Colombia, but they moved here. Well,
No, but I played the clarinet, so I'm very
you
interested.
play the clarinet? Oh, okay. Well, they will be
I had a
playing.
recorder.
They're all woodwind. They're all woodwind music.
Right.
They will be playing. They'll be playing music that explores the influence of a French composer named Nadia Boulanger. that sound familiar to you?
Easy for you to say.
Oh,
Little
okay.
bit. Rings
Okay.
a bell.
They'll be at the Community Mediation Center in Jamaica. But I'm not done yet. Not done yet. The music still, or the classical music still goes. That would bring us to, how about Masterworks concert with the Queen Symphony Orchestra?
There you
We
go.
have a Queen Symphony Orchestra, and we have an
Astoria
Astoria Symphony
Symphony
Orchestra.
Orchestra.
We also have a Queensborough Symphony Orchestra.
Oh, I haven't
Yep.
heard about them in a while.
And we have an Oratorio Society of Queens, but they're
Yes.
coming up in about a week, so we'll be talking on them next podcast.
For sure.
Anyway, the Queen Symphony Orchestra is going to play, offer a concert. The first half is going to have music by Leonard Bernstein, as he would be celebrating his 100th birthday this year. The
If he was not dead.
If he, if he were... if he were alive, he'd
be 100.
He'd be 100. He'd probably be wondering what he's doing in a coffin.
Right.
But the second half is going to have music by Edward Elgar. It's called Enigma Variations, which is they describe it as a musical sketchbook. So there's, and then we also have the monthly jazz jam at Flushing Town Hall. We've
Can't
talked
forget
about
that.
before, where you
Those are our buddies.
where you just go and you jam, and if you don't know how to play an instrument, you just go and you listen.
That's right.
Do you play any instruments?
Not at all, unfortunately not.
Do they have any music programs at the Queens Community House?
Music is a part of all of our programs somehow. We've got all of our kids jam out every day. We have dance programs with our seniors. We do everything.
Dance programs with the seniors? What do they dance to?
Pretty much everything that's on the radio, especially
Oh, I
our
was gonna
Queens
say
Center for
swing
Gay
and-
Seniors
Yeah.
in Jackson Heights. You'll follow their Instagram. You see they dance pretty much every day.
Why not?
It's a fun place to be.
That sounds cool.
So I want to talk about what I think I'm going to try and do this weekend. It's Leonard Bernstein's obviously 100-year anniversary,
Sure.
or his birth anniversary.
Right.
It's also the 100th anniversary of the end of World War One.
Oh, no kidding.
Yeah. Some people thought that World War One was the most gruesome ever, but I think World War II might have beaten that.
Might have.
Who knows?
edged
Anyway,
it out.
to celebrate the end of World War II,
World War One.
World War One.
Yeah.
Maple Grove Cemetery is going to hire actors who are going to dress up as soldiers from World War One and act out the part and discuss what went on in the different battles that they were in. Not
Yeah,
only will they be dressed as the soldiers were,
Right.
but they will also have horses, because that was sort of like the last World War, or the
With
last war that
cavalry.
involved cavalry.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
After that, it kind of we got into the tanks.
Yeah, I auditioned. They said there was no soldier that heavy because there wasn't enough food. So they said no thanks.
Really?
Took a pass on me.
Really? I
That's
don't
all right.
believe that.
I'll still go.
I don't
and
believe
watch.
that.
I'll still go. Watch.
Anyway, so I think I'm going to try and go to that. They do this Maple Grove. They do
They do a lot of
things
recreations,
which
like,
involves
yeah.
recreations.
Yeah.
And they on Halloween they get actors to stand by the tombstones of certain famous people who were buried there, dressed as the people who were buried there, and act out their lives.
Was that the
pretty
place serving
bad.
mead?
Mead? Oh, do you drink mead?
Oh, I love mead. I just went all the way to a little brewery in Denver for some mead.
Really?
mead?
Oh yeah, used to be carried at a local bar
They
here in
said
Queens.
mead,
and
not
they stopped.
weed, right? Yeah, 'cause Denver.
M-E-A-D.
Mead is mead.
Same
Well,
place.
what exactly is mead? It's an English,
like
old
a
English beverage.
honey wine.
Fermented honey.
It's
yeah,
like honey
fermented
wine?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Then there's something else I wanted to talk about, which I kind of think maybe your son would like.
Oh, I'll have to,
And
I'll have
that
to ask him
is-
if I ever see him again.
That is Queens Botanical Gardens' annual Arbor Fest.
Oh, yeah.
Happens every year around this time, and it's kind of like the spring celebration. It involves lawn games and botanical demos, puppet shows, a petting zoo, food vendors, and of course a beer and wine garden. I don't know
Well,
if
he'd
they'll have
love
any
the
meat
beer
at
and
the
wine part.
beer and wine garden, but
He'd love the beer and wine part.
yeah, you
but I
drop
don't
him
know
off
if
at
he
the beer. You drop him off at the beer and wine garden, then you head to the petting zoo.
Now, he
And
loved-
everyone's happy.
The Queens Botanical Garden's a big part of what we do because of its proximity to our house. Now, I've given you too much information there. But
Oh yeah, his
So
nondescript
it's been 5 miles.
apartment in his hidden row house.
Yeah.
He lives right across the street from Queens Botanical Gardens,
if
but we're not
you're
going to
on
tell you
you
his
know what?
name,
The
'cause that would be
fans
too
of
much.
It's in Queens now. We're going to
They're all
flood
gonna be right.
the streets of Flushing.
Well,
looking
now
for
that
me
you live in
now.
Alexchester, you're not that far from Queens Botanical Garden either.
That's
So
right.
I think the petting zoo is calling. Now I have a question. Does everyone know that April 28th is New York City's Tai Chi and Qigong Day?
Well,
Really?
if we didn't know, we do it now.
We have a lot of Tai Chi programs at the Queens Community
you?
House. Yes.
Really?
We can always
At almost
bring
every
right
single
back
one
in.
of our older adult programs, senior
They do Tai
centers,
Chi?
we have morning Tai Chi. Even our staff get in on it.
Nice.
Wow. So you too?
Not yet.
Okay.
I'd like to.
Well, if you would, it's a citywide holiday, and you can celebrate at the Museum of the Moving Image with all kinds of Tai Chi and Qigong demonstrations, including one by the master Pingxing Shen of Sun Style Internal Martial Arts. They're also going to have some movies about related to Tai Chi. I guess I would imagine action films that include Tai Chi fight scenes.
Remember
and
those
stuff like
karate
that.
movies used to be on Channel
Bruce Lee,
9?
he didn't do Tai Chi, did he?
I don't know. I
don't
think he
think
invented
so.
his own style of
He had his
karate,
own
right? Didn't he
style?
didn't he was like a big vanguard in that respect?
Okay. A couple other things quickly. I would like to say that there is a food walking tour of Woodhaven.
Sounds cool.
Yeah, where you can try, it says Central American, Guyanese, Mexican, Polish, and Colombian food with the possibility of stopping by Smith's Candy Store. Smith's Candy Store is a third generation store.
Jamaica Avenue.
Maggie, yep.
Yeah.
Sure, just like her grandfather before her, she makes chocolate and candy on site.
Do you want me to tie that back to Queens Community House? Because I can.
Yes.
Yeah,
How
come
does that
on.
relate to Queens?
Schmitz
Community House?
is so kind to donate to our upcoming events, Queens Adventurer Raffle Basket, which is based on Joe DiStefano's 111 Places You Must Not Miss in Queens. We are collecting
He was on our show.
Another
items.
former
I
guest
know.
of the It's
He
in Queens
donated the
podcast.
book, and so we're collecting items from places in the book, and Schmitz is in there, and they are donating to this basket.
Well, if you get the
There you
Moncton
go.
Food Market, I'll definitely bid on that
I am
basket.
trying. I'm trying.
Wow. Okay. Well, should we just try if I said pizza, how does that relate to Queens Community House?
Well, we have this incredible program, the Queens Connect program, where we actually train out of school, out of work youth in the entrepreneur space.
in
Oh
Long
man,
Island
that's
City?
in Long Island City.
okay.
And just the other day, they made pizza.
Really?
Wow.
They are
Alright,
trained.
that's
They
great.
get their
It's
food
like 6
safety
degrees of Kevin
license.
We could
Bacon.
go on this forever.
They
Yeah.
get put in
Yeah.
internships, and they get boost their foot in the door with awesome new careers.
Look at that. That's
Wow,
pretty
okay.
awesome.
Very good.
Yeah.
What if I said Mario Cuomo?
Oh my gosh! Thank you, Mario Cuomo, for being our founding father.
Look at
So in the
that.
1970s,
I think you set her up on that
in
one.
the 1970s in Forest Hills,
was
public
a lot.
housing was coming in, and the wealthier neighbors didn't want public housing to come in. So Queens Community House was the solution, and Mario Cuomo fought for us. So that was in
Mario Cuomo
1975.
he was basically a storehouse lawyer at the time,
Yeah,
right? And he made
yeah.
a big name for himself, and from then his political career, blossomed.
Oh, I'm starting my
Yes.
political career from this podcast.
and now we're 29 sites.
I'm going to be, yeah.
Just from that one.
I'm going to go
forced to
over
be
some
reckoned
other
with.
things rather quickly. First of all, there's a kind of an Indian music form that will be a person named Arun Luthra, who is a saxophonist and a practitioner of the art form, which is known as Konakoi, will be at Flushing Town Hall. There's a Latin dance fiesta at Queens Theater, which involves 4 different kinds of Latin dance.
Wow.
Flamenco, tango, Brazilian samba and capoeira, and then music, folkloric music from the Dominican
Wait,
Republic.
I thought capoeira was the fighting
It's
style.
a martial arts dance.
Okay.
Yeah, it was part of the slaves would pretend that they were dancing, but it really actually they were
They were
practicing.
training to
Yeah.
beat the crap out of their owners.
So yes, it was actually a way. So it's really kind of cool.
That's like, the forbidden dance, the lambada.
Lambada, yes. That might
can
come
make that
up.
back.
You might get
Right,
to
you
see
never-
that.
well,
there,
it's
too.
forbidden, so you never know.
Right.
You can't talk about it. It's like
the
Fight
other
Club.
the other thing is Holy, the Holy Celebration. Now, something tells me you've taken photos of Holy celebrations.
Correct.
So there is one at the Queens Museum. Holy is sort of like a spring festival in the Hindu religion. It celebrates the triumph of good over evil.
Nice.
And it involves part of the celebration. People throw colored water and colored talcum powder on each other, and they eat a lot and they dance a lot and they have a lot of fun. Queens Museum, the Hindu Temple Society of North America, which is the oldest Hindu temple in the United States and happens to be located on Bounty Street in Flushing, will be organizing this event. They do it every year, and it's fantastic. You can go. It's a very colorful event.
Yeah.
And it's at the Queens Museum, so rain or shine, you don't have to worry about it.
Inside.
Chris, do you have anything that I've missed? Tell me what I've missed.
You are on target this week. I got to say, you really got all the bases covered.
I know something you've
I did
missed.
see
Really?
there's
Another
Autism
surprise.
Awareness Day
Autism
at
Awareness Day.
Shop at Atlas Park.
Okay, the Shops
with
at Atlas
crafts,
Park.
vendors, live
Glendale.
DJ, face painting. I thought that was great. Atlas Park is such a great space, over in Glendale.
needs help, too.
And
It's-
they need people to go over there
Yeah.
because they took a chance on opening a shopping mall over there, and it would be nice if we
the way I
supported
see
them.
it, it's one anchor store away from being successful. Like if
Yeah.
it had one store that brought a lot of people, all the other stores would be good.
Yeah, they got the
So,
California Pizza Kitchen. They got the Japanese restaurant,
They
and then
do?
the movie theater. And then after that, it's sort of like, well, they had a Barnes and Nobles
What
for a
do they-
while, but that
what would bring
we all know
people
what
out
happened there. What would people?
Maybe
Well, I like Manor Oktoberfest in there. They got
Yeah,
that German
Manor, they have a
German
German
restaurant in
restaurant out
there.
there,
It's
which
really
is
good.
nice.
Great
Okay.
beers, great food. But I'm not sure what they're missing. I think they're missing
they're-
like publicity and
they're
just
missing-
people
yeah.
need to know about it.
Yeah,
That's all.
anyway, Shops at Atlas Park.
Yeah.
Autism awareness is
April
sponsoring
28th.
it on
Yep.
the 28th.
right.
Anything else I'm missing?
Yeah.
So
Only the
even-
best event going on in Queens this week.
Even when I say what's missing, that still relates to the Queens Community
I'll
House.
tell you exactly
Pizza,
what's missing.
Mario Cuomo.
Give me
What's
one more.
missing? Okay.
All
go
right,
ahead.
well, of course, we're April 25th to May 2nd.
Yeah.
So we're right at the end of the week. We have our Celebrating Local Champions reception for the Queens Community House. It is at the beautiful, historical Westside Tennis Club.
Nice.
West Side Tennis Club, where they used to,
Yes.
the U.S. Open used to
West
take
Side?
place on the
And I
grass
got to
tennis
go the other
courts.
day. I had a beautiful lunch. I had no idea how great the food was.
Sure.
I mean, it was incredible. We had oyster spreads. It was wonderful. So May 2nd, we'll be honoring our local champions. We are honoring St. Luke's Episcopal Church for decades. They've been hosting toy drives for us, and they also just created an emergency pantry for us that when I come in with a housing crisis, I can also get food in that moment. So they've helped us create that over really a decade. And the toy drives, they're not just your average toy drives. They put every ounce of attention to the bows, and they bring tons of toys for our families. So we're honoring them, and also
Anyone else we're honoring?
Yeah.
we are giving the Queens Community Builder Award to someone at this table.
Rob?
I think it'd be the mystery man next to me.
Mystery man
That
number
is Steve Vasquez.
one. Easy.
Queenscapes, the man behind Queenscapes.
We are
We'll be getting an
awarding
award?
this man here, host of or founder of Queenscapes, because he's always been a friend of Queens Community House, but also for the great work that he does, which you already heard of in Queens.
That's
So it's great networking, great food, and a chance to meet the man behind the Instagram account and hang out with
Yes.
people from St. Luke's.
Yes,
All
yes.
right.
And I will say there's a couple
May
of tickets
2nd.
left, so I would go now. www.qchnyc.com/spring. All ticket proceeds go to the wonderful people I described today.
Okay.
That's fantastic.
That kind of wraps it up. You know,
we did miss your event on.
Queen's Taste.
Yeah,
Queen's. Well, we talked about it last week, but hey, repetition is the key to memorization.
that's right. 3 times.
May
baby,
1st, the
advertising.
first Tuesday in May, New York Hall of Science, Queen's Taste. I've got 62 tables, and they're going to be giving away food to probably 700 people.
Yeah,
In-
easily.
I've got so many different restaurants, so many different ethnicities, got all kinds of alcohol, especially desserts, specialty desserts, everything else.
People from the entrepreneur space.
People from our
right?
entrepreneur space will be giving their desserts, gluten-free products.
That's right.
Please come. It's fantastic networking. Maybe not as good as the Queens Community House.
If you plan your week right, you do this.
but luckily,
I was
you do
gonna
that
say
on the
it's
actually
sort of
one
like
weekend
a-
in the other.
And then you do the
Luckily,
second.
It's a get
this
to know you
borough
and
is
let's
big
go to the
enough.
Queens Community House event together.
This
Right.
borough is big enough for 2 fantastic networking events. with
You know
great
what? And
food.
if you're following that new day fasting
Yeah.
program,
Yeah.
you only eat at night,
Yeah,
right?
then it's
so
the
you eat
perfect
on the
way.
first, skip no food, and then right to the second, and then
Yes.
boom.
Did I mention unlimited beer and wine? Yes.
Oh, you
Oh.
did not. No.
Most important.
So please remember that we talk a lot here, but everything is correct on our website, which is www.itsinqueens.com. So if any of our dates or anything are wrong, they are correct on
I would
It's in
do a double
Queens.
check. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
please follow us. Everything that we've talked about, all the events are on the website. Plus, they will be tweeted out on the Instagram and Twitter accounts of us. Don't forget the other 2 Twitter
Oh,
accounts.
yeah, follow
A
a story about, follow
and
Queenscapes.
Queenscapes.com.
Follow-
Shall we finish with a game?
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Who had the most Queens weekend? The Queensiest weekend? I think I win. That's why
Wait,
I want
I
to
have
play
to
this
remember
game.
what
I
I
think you're
did
setting
this
us up for
weekend.
failure.
All right.
Oh, no.
I
do
will
you want me to
tell
go first? Or you want me to go last?
I'll go because I
you
think you're
go.
going to bring it home.
Okay.
But we went. When I say we, I mean me and Liam. Well, that's my kid.
6-year-old son.
For now, I'm going to keep him around. But we did. Toys R Us is closing. You know that, right?
Uh-huh.
So we made a pilgrimage to Toys R Us.
The one here
College Point Boulevard.
College Point Boulevard.
Yeah,
Okay.
right on 20th Street. And then on Sunday, we hit not one, not two, but three different Queens parks.
Oh,
we
really?
did Flushing Meadow
Okay.
Park. We did Casino Corridor Park.
Okay.
And then we did Crocheron Park.
Oh,
I
okay.
thought you were going to say
Three.
Astoria Park. For Astoria Park Alliance's
we
Shore
were going
Fest.
east. We were going east.
Okay. Mystery Man behind Queenscapes. What did you do this past weekend?
This past weekend was a weekend that I chose to not do much, so I can't
But
really
you
partake
relaxed
as
in
much.
Queens. Did
I
you
relaxed
relax
in
in
Queens
Queens?
a bunch.
Did you
Okay.
take out?
Okay.
I think I did take out.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
usually three times a week.
Well, it's
Supporting
important.
a Queens
It's important to
restaurant.
know that Queens is a great place to relax.
That's
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
About Astoria. A story
Sorry
about.
Told you, I'm glad
sorry,
that you
I'm
asked.
dyslexic
It's
over
okay,
here.
it's really hard.
Yeah.
I'm trying to. So Saturday,
You were at
we
the Queens
actually
Community
no,
House?
we brunched. We went to Salt and Bone and Astoria and
Oh,
brunch.
they will be
Nice.
at Queen's Taste.
And
Salt and
then
Bone.
we
there you
then
go.
we followed that up with drinks at the High Water. Then we went to drinks at the Astoria, and then we went to drinks at the Sweet Afton.
Wow.
And then that was the end of that night. And then the next day, I went to Astoria Park's
I was gonna say,
Shore
and took
Fest. I
aspirin.
met the Women's Action Group of Forest Hills. I met Astor Apiaries, who has bees in Astoria. So pretty Queens.
Pretty
Awesome.
Queens.
I
That's a
made
pretty
some new
weekend.
Queens friends.
That's a pretty Queens weekend.
All right.
What do you got for us, Rob?
All right. Well, Friday night.
Mystery Man number one.
Friday night, I went to Flushing Town Hall to the global mashup that we
Nice.
talked
How
about in
was
last
that?
week's podcast with
I
Sammy.
saw that
who
it was
with
sold
us.
out.
It was sold out, as was their Marionette Puppet Show on Sunday.
Yeah.
It was a Latin Boogaloo band played, and then a Nigerian music band played. Actually, the band behind the musical Fella, and then they both shared the
they
stage
jammed.
together. That was sold out. Then let me see, Saturday. Okay, Saturday I went to the Rockaways. My daughter has a really bad back, and so she needed there's a place called the Nurture You Wellness Center there, where there's this woman named Samantha who gives unbelievable massages, and she does all the oils and the hot rocks and all that kind of stuff.
Nice.
And ate at Cuisine by Claudette, which is a fantastic restaurant down there. And on the way back,
Queen's Taste?
And on the way back, not in Queen's Taste. On the
Mm,
way
we'll
back, we
forgive
went
her.
to New Park Pizza in Howard Beach, which
Nice.
I would
One of
say
my favorites.
Yeah.
is the best pizza.
One of the best pizzas in
Yeah,
Queens.
there. I mean, there are a
Absolutely.
couple of
I'm a big
top
fan of
ones.
it.
It's
Yeah.
definitely up there.
Definitely up there.
I think anybody who does a top 5 list, they're going to end up in there somewhere.
Yep. And Sunday went to Queens Theater and watched Much Ado About Nothing by the Titan Theater Company, which
Look
is
at
Queens
you.
Theater's
Awesome.
artist in residence.
You're just killing it. You are killing
So
Very
let's say,
diverse
well,
Queens
let's
weekend.
we should probably have like some way to vote online,
Yeah.
but
Raise your hand.
I would say I think we all
I
did
lose
pretty
by
good.
default, so
But you are going to beat that next week when you go to all the things that we just talked about.
Well, I think also we should mention that probably Flushing Town Hall sold out because of the It's in Queens podcast.
Yeah,
bump.
that's right. It's if you want to
Undoubtedly.
Notorious for that.
Undoubtedly.
We'll probably sell out your event too. Don't worry
exactly.
about it.
Everyone, thank you for your time and your attention, and please stay in Queens.
yeah.
Listen to us.
you.
We won't steer you wrong.
No, and thank
Okay.
you guys for being our guests
And
this
thank
week.
you.
Thank you for having
We had a
us
great
on.
time.
Thank you.
All
So
right.
fun.
All right. Bye.